and welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. As of Monday, May 28, 2018, persons will no longer be allowed to mine sand at Diamond. Minister of Transport and Works, Julian Francis, said the decision comes as the government considers the negative effects which sand mining poses to coastal areas. At a news conference yesterday, Francis explained that sand mining from beaches will not be banned immediately. However, a new site is being used in the North Windward area.
Close Diamond, like we have done to Brighton. And we have come up with a beach in Rabaca called Drip. But basically it is a Rabaca beach, but not the Rabaca sand. As you leave Rabaca, going towards Orange Hill, immediately past where the road is to go to La Soufrière. We have been working since the last week and a half to prepare that area for sand mining. There is a good deposit of sand on the beach, and we want to shift from Diamond to Rabaca. We have already up to Friday stockpiled about 2,000 cubic yards of sand. We are not going to allow the beaches, the trucks, to go onto the beach itself.
Francis took the opportunity to urge the public to use the sand mined at the Rabaca site.
To review the prices that are being sold for sand at Rabaca. If there's a greater demand, there will be a greater demand if people accept the products that are being sold out there. You have an alternative to pay for the imported sand. If you're not happy with Rabaca, you're not comfortable with Rabaca, the sand coming from Guyana, the sand coming from Suriname, the sand coming from Martinique, or the sand is also a wash sand, but it has a significant cost to it. Where we could be selling Rabaca produced sand and aggregates here at maybe $50, $60 per cubic yard, to import it is going to cost you between $100, $120, $130 per cubic yard. Government is prepared to put a subsidy into the importation of sand, but we cannot ruin all of it. We cannot put more than just what we can afford.
The Transport and Works Minister also called for better management of sand by the public.
Will be closed by weekend, and on Monday we are trying to put the proper machinery in place so that you wouldn't have any long wait and supply there to run us for 3 months without denuding the beach, because we're not digging in a particular area, we're taking the entire length of the beach. And that's why we're using our own equipment, managed and controlled by Bragsa, and that way we will have a better uniform mining of the sand out there. Not manage our sand. They bring a truckload of sand and they dump it anyway. And quite honestly, in most cases, a truckload of sand dumped anyway, you get back 2/3 of that truckload of sand. The other 1/3, or up to 40%, is wasted or washed away. If you have to pay a little bit more for it, I'm sure that you're going to manage it and take care of it more.
More than 100 workers are expected to take up employment when the Diagnostic Treatment and Medical Complex opens in Georgetown. This from Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves as he conducted a recent tour of the facility with Minister of Health Luke Brown to assess the facility's readiness for opening and operation. PM Gonsalves told the Agency for Public Information that preparations are being finalized for the opening of the facility, which will provide diagnostic and treatment services specifically for hemodialysis for kidney patients across the country.
To a private sector place to pay $6,000 EC, and you have to do 3 interventions a week. That's $1,800 a week, and you multiply that by 52 weeks, you see where you're going. And that's why for some people who have to do hemodialysis, the cost makes it a death sentence, apart from the question of whether it is available. Means that the state would have to, through the government, would have to do a subsidy, but yet you have to do some cost recovery. The Ministry of Health is working out with the Ministry of Finance the kinds of numbers to recommend. They have some ballpark numbers, but I don't want to talk about them because they have been finalized. They've been knocking some around.
Outlining the services which will be available at Georgetown, the Prime Minister said the delivery of health care to this country's citizens is being improved, as he also pointed to the facelift at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital, though he noted that more needs to be done.
Some fantastic facilities down there, like for instance, we are the center in the Eastern Caribbean for pediatric care for children. Now, we just spent over $5 million refurbishing female wards. We put in an additional operating theater. We put in another ICU unit, quote unquote, and we refurbished that area too. Several other areas, and still we need to do some more facelift. What we did over the kitchen down there, which was very important. Then we built the Stubbs Polyclinic. We have built the one at Bukama Polyclinic, the one also in Maraqua. Those two are going to be open shortly. Those are 24-hour services with their own doctor. And we have already signed a contract with the architect designer for the acute referral hospital, which is 130 bed at the old E.T. Joshua site.
The Prime Minister said a complement of Cuban healthcare professionals is already on the ground and will be stationed at the health complex, and lab technicians have been trained to operate the lab equipment. Deputy Commissioner of Police Frankie Joseph said they are trying to get more witnesses to give evidence in court, given their important role in helping to solve crimes. Joseph, who was speaking at a news conference yesterday which touched on a range of issues, noted that some witnesses fail to show up in court, and when this happens, it can result in justice not being served.
Means that justice is really and truly not being solved, and it is no fault of the police, because the police have conducted their investigation. It is no fault of the DPP's office, because they are ready to prosecute, and it is also no fault of the court, because if the evidence has not been presented to the court, then the court cannot make a determination. But if it develops into a trend, then obvious that we will be very concerned, because we do not want perpetrators to be committing crimes, and at the end of it, that they are just allowed to go back onto the street because witnesses are refusing to give evidence, because that could make the perpetrators believe that they are in a position where they can do anything and no one would give.
Joseph said the police will be examining ways to educate the public about the role of witnesses and what measures are in place for persons to give evidence without being identified.
But what I can say is that the special measures can be very effective, because you can give evidence from undisclosed location. We can modulate your voice so that no one would be able to recognize your voice. I guess probably what we'll have to do is to embark on more awareness, making the general public aware that we have these measures out there, so therefore they would not have to go into the court to stand before these perpetrators to give evidence. So I guess we will have to be more vibrant in our awareness campaign in terms of promoting these special measures.
The Deputy Commissioner of Police also took the opportunity to encourage the public to report all cases of child abuse.
But one of the things that I want to encourage persons out there to do, though, is even though you are not related to any of the victims of child abuse, once you have information, or you don't have to have the information, if you suspect or you believe that someone is being abused sexually, a child is being abused sexually, report it. Because it's the only how we will be able to check that out and to verify whether or not a child has been sexually abused. Is if you report it, whether to the social services, family affairs, or to the police, that we will be able to check that in and verify that information.
The rehabilitation of prison inmates is necessary in order to maintain peace and security of a nation. So says Deputy Police Commissioner Frankie Joseph as he spoke at a ceremony today where several computers and other equipment were handed over to the Superintendent of Prisons, Brenton Charles, for use in their rehabilitation efforts. Joseph said the prison services faces the task of rehabilitating and preparing inmates for return to society by teaching them skills which are necessary for survival, and he considered the donation by the RSS as an investment in maintaining peace and order.
The officers and the society in general have to work together to achieve the sometimes seemingly unsurmountable task to rehabilitate and reintegrate inmates who have served their time for whatever crime back into the society. And so, that is why today I share joy of Superintendent Charles, his hard-working officers and the inmates at Her Majesty's prisons for these wonderful gifts that the regional security system have donated. The RSS is the primary defense and security institution in the region. And by making this donation of computers and other valuable and important pieces of equipment to Her Majesty's prison, they too are fulfilling their mission in helping to maintain peace and security in the region.
Monday's presidential election in Venezuela was said to have been conducted fairly and efficiently and showed no evidence of voter suppression. That's the report of Ellsworth John, SVG's ambassador to Cuba, as he spoke at a news briefing today to present findings on the recently concluded elections in which Nicolas Maduro was re-elected for another term. Ambassador John headed a four-man high-level Caribbean delegation to the South American country to evaluate the arrangements put in place for the election, monitor the conduct of the National Electoral Council, and observe the vote on election day. The ambassador said that while his team made some recommendations, in their view, the election was fair.
And we also found that the font on the voters list was very small. People like us, myself with advanced age, would have difficulty reading some of the fonts on the voters list. In conclusion, we were satisfied that the elections were conducted efficiently in a fair and transparent manner. All of the registered voters who wanted to exercise their right to vote participated in a peaceful and accommodating environment. Based on the process observed, the mission was satisfied that the results of the election reflected the will of the majority of the voters in the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Ambassador John said voting was done electronically and by paper ballots, which were audited to ensure that the election was above board.
After that, there was an audit done in the polling station. They did a random of over 50% of the polling stations to verify the information that was on the computer against the number of ballots that was in the box. Those that I observed, where they did an audit, the numbers that were generated by the computer matched exactly the number of ballots that were in the box. We found that the voting on election day went orderly and efficiently without incident. The team from the Caribbean observed the opening of the poll, the votes for candidate Maduro and his wife, and noted the steady flow of voters throughout the day in approximately 40 polling booths visited.
After Monday's ballot, critics in the region and abroad denounced the re-election of Maduro as a fast-cementing autocracy. Ambassador John said that his team did not notice any incidents of voter suppression.
And then she announced the results, and then she left. There was a microphone that was on next to the podium. Immediately, a member of the opposition went up and spoke for half an hour, denouncing the elections. And nobody, no official, nobody from the National Electoral Council, nobody from the army or police prevented him from going up there and speaking freely as to what his views were of the election. People listened, some of the persons, observers who were there asked questions, he answered them, and that was it. So some of the media reports that you hear about suppression and that kind of stuff of people right to speak, that was not evident to us in our observation in the 4 days that we were in Caracas.
Welcome back and welcome to Carnival Beat this evening. Components of Vincy Mas are ramping up efforts to get the youth more involved in the technical areas on Vincy Mas. To this end, the Carnival Bands Associations, the CBA, has rolled out its secondary schools art design competition, which has seen some 100 students creating their own costume designs based on a number of themes. 13 selected designs from the first round of judging were featured at an exhibition today, at which the public was asked to vote for their favorite design. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
The St. Vincent National Trust was today transformed into an area of creativity and innovation as secondary school students displayed their carnival costume designs. Spearheaded by the Carnival Bands Association CBA, the 2018 Secondary Schools Art Design Competition is aimed at attracting more youth to the mass component of Carnival, particularly as it relates to costume design. Representative of the CBA, Alvon Cadogan, said the association takes pride in preserving the skill of costume designing.
So we started this year, which is a 3-year course we are planning to run, with designs from all the secondary school throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Judges had a hard task on Saturday, which started from about 9 o'clock and finished at 3 o'clock in eliminating and choosing, and it was hard to do that. And what you see before you now is 13 out of 100 plus design here, and out of this 13 there are 5 that will be chosen who will actually receive prizes. The whole thing is to actually get the children involved in one way. They are the future, and as you see before us, these designs show us that they are the future.
Cadogan said the finalists of this year's competition will be awarded at the CBA's upcoming Ignite Mass event, slated for Saturday, May 26th.
Mini fair at Victoria Park from 5 in the afternoon until 8. You will see 2 school bands performing. You will also have some of the young and upcoming soccer artists performing. You will have avenue dancers, bouncing castle, face painting, ice cream, you name it. Put it like that, a children attraction in a form of a mini soca monarch at Victoria Park. You have mass bands parading the stage, 14 mass bands along with 25 soca artists.
CEO of the Carnival Development Corporation, CDC, Ashford Wood, commended the CBA for getting the nation's youth involved in Vincy Mass and most of the culture of SVG. He expressed hope that the activity will grow.
The Carnival Bands Association, that now that we have these kids coming forward with such beautiful giants, and there are many, many more we would not have seen, why not use these kids to move into the schools and do simple designs so that come 2019 we can have the rural carnivals bringing out sections. Maybe we could start with 10, maybe we could start with 15.
A People's Choice campaign also took place at today's exhibition, where viewers were given the opportunity to vote for their favorite design. The winner of that campaign will receive an award from the St. Vincent National Trust. Nikita Tony reporting for Carnival Beat.
And the St. Vincent Brewery Limited, through its Hyroon brand, has restated its commitment to investing in Vincy Mass. For the 2018 Summer Festival, the Super Platinum sponsor will be bringing a Juve band, Paintopia. At the event's official launch, the brewery's marketing coordinator, Kelvin Franklin, said that his company is committed to supporting Vincy Mass in a holistic way.
No doubt that our tagline this year, Hyroon is Carnival, is fitting because, of course, we embrace Carnival and we support Carnival in a holistic way. Bear, of course, as I mentioned earlier, is a major sponsor in Carnival, and we have not only been committing ourselves to CDC, but we are sponsoring the rural carnivals, mass bands. Of course, we'll be sponsoring all the components, Calypso, Pan, and of course, a lot of the private shows. And Bacchanal Monday is one of them that we're going to be supporting in a big way come Carnival, the first Monday of Carnival.
Franklin thanked all parties for their partnership on the 2018 project, which he said will be Hyroon's commitment to inject new life into the Juve component.
This year we have seen the fall off of Juve, and as we did about 5 years ago when we came on the roads, on the streets with our Guinness Posse band, we believe that we could inject some life again into Juve and bring it back to where it used to be. And so we're partnering with Paintopia on this grand scale, because you know we do not do things in a simple way. So you can expect something great, something exceptional come Juve morning when Hyroon is going to be on the road. We start, of course, with our Juve party, and then we're going to take to the streets of Kingston.